Hey everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com. I've got my black shirt on, and you know what that means. That means we're gonna do a tour. We're gonna show you some really cool new fish. There's a few wild type live bears we have in that I've never seen before. There's some domestic strains of live bears, especially some really neat mollies that I've never seen before either. We have some catfish that I've never had before. We have just a smorgasbord, a Thanksgiving feast, if you will, of new fish. So let me take you around and show you what we got. Okay, I'm very excited to show you these. These are the green laser cories, CW009. And they are great. Really nice green colors. Look at that laser. I could not be happier. They're the right fish, and it's clear that they're the right fish. Man, I'm excited about these. Usually when I order green lasers, I end up with gold lasers. So this is the advantage of adding another supplier like Aquarium Glasser, is that you get access to some new fish, and sometimes they're fish you've been trying forever to get, and you can't get the right ones, and then it's like, hey, finally got the right ones. Green lasers, looking spectacular. Another killifish. Sorry, but I can't get enough of them. This is Aphyosemion gabuens. Hardy, beautiful, prolific. These are a great beginner killifish. Really, really pretty, really neat, quite hardy. I want this one to turn so I get a profile image. Come on, turn for me. You gonna turn? There we go. Because that one has nice deep reds in its body. That's a pretty one. Oh, look at those. That's why I like killifish. Like, each one is prettier than the last. Oh man, now we're gonna have a treat. Are you guys gonna display and everything? Oh yeah, look at this. Sometimes you just get lucky. Come on, do your dance. Oh, he's not really doing his dance, but at least we're seeing some of the color. Anyway, Aphyosemion gabuens. All right, these amazing fish are Xiphophorus pygmaeus. This is the pygmy swordtail, a tiny little neat, unique little live bear, little wild type live bear. These were sourced from Aquarium Glasser out of Germany. Just a warning, getting stuff out of Germany is very expensive. So these fish are not cheap, but we did it anyway on a few of these wild type live bears because where else are you gonna get them, right? We were like, yeah, that's expensive, but we want to bring in cool stuff that people have a hard time finding. So we brought these in. Xiphophorus pygmaeus, neat little dwarf swordtail that doesn't really have a sword. Not all swordtails have swords, fun fact. But there they are, Xiphophorus pygmaeus. Next to them, look at these. Look at how beautiful these guys are. These are the Manicapuru angelfish, the red back Manicapuru. Sourced again out of Germany. And I've got these from lots of different locations. I actually stopped bringing them in because I wasn't finding good quality. A lot of them would have some red, but they'd have deformed ventral fins and, you know, issues like that. So these, however, don't. I mean, look at that. When I saw them on the list out of Germany, knowing the quality of fish that they have over there at Aquarium Glasser, I was like, yeah, they're super expensive, but it's probably worth it since I've decided not to buy them from the other suppliers to bring these guys in. So really beautiful fish, great fins, good body shape, and a lot of red on the back on these guys. All right, here's another killifish. These are Nothobronchius corsage from Red Mafia. Just a beautiful fish. Like, the Nothobronchius are like fire in the water. Look at those two males displaying. It doesn't get much prettier than a male Nothobronchius all fired up. Okay, this is a type of dwarf Egyptian mouth brooder. Check out this male here showing off for us. But this is a little different than the typical Egyptian mouth brooder. This is a new species from Rahua, We don't know the actual species yet, at least I don't. Look at that male strutting his stuff. But if you like neat little dwarf cichlids, oh, here's another one. These are different than your average kind of mouth-brooding rift lake cichlid. These are more of a, I'm going to say they're closer to, well, they're like a mix of a rift lake cichlid and a westie in how they behave and their size and all that. That's how I'm going to describe them. And they are breeding in here. Let's see if I can find a female that's holding. Oh yeah, here's a couple. So back there, see that buccal cavity full of eggs? There's at least 2 females back there holding. That one's about ready to go. Look at all those eggs in her mouth. That male has been busy. Very, very busy. Anyway, Pseudochronolabras from Rahua. Don't know the species, but we know the collection point. These are the yellow-headed panda angelfish. Basically a variety of koi, I believe. But they've got nice bright yellow up on the heads and nice black contrasts. And these aren't huge. I would say these are about 1.25 inch to 1.5 inch body size, something like that. And Johnny hates it when I say that because I'm not here with a ruler. I've got a camera in both hands, and sometimes I say the wrong size, and then he's like, man. So check what he has on the website to be sure. But these are not huge. They've got a lot of growing to do, but they're decent size. They ship really well this size, and they are big enough that the color is coming quite nicely on these. You can see the nice contrast on them. All right, these are species of Crabinzus you don't see very often. These are the ones from Bapindi. Absolutely stunning. Like, look at these. Look at these awesome little fish. So West African cichlids are near and dear to my heart. They're peaceful, they're hardy, they're easy to breed, they're very colorful. I think that Westies are just ideal in a lot of ways. The Crabinzus types, the Pelvic Acromis and the Wallace Acromis, but that is one good looking fish for sure. And on top of those, we have some red dragons. The thing about the red dragon rainbows is they really don't develop their color until they get around 3 inches or so. This is a fish that gets 6 to 7 inches. It's big. So right now they don't have a lot in the way of color, but they're very healthy and they will grow into amazing, stunning fish. You just have to be patient with them. I just thought it'd be nice to take a moment and appreciate these electric blue jack Dempseys. Look how beautiful those guys are. These are the ones that used to be in the 40-gallon aquarium behind me during the live streams. We've moved them into a 75-gallon aquarium because they're getting big. And, oh, that is just, this is a tank I just stop at every day and admire because look at that. It's so pretty. You know, I'm going to come over here and shut off the work lights. That might give us less glare. I guess I should have thought about that earlier. Okay, let's see if the fish show up with less glare now. Now, this is one I wasn't planning on showing, so I didn't scrub the algae. But as I was walking by, I was like, man, those are looking really good. These are Sex lineatus, or Sex fasciatus, the gold form. Neat little Tanganyikan cichlid. I don't do a whole lot with African rift lake cichlids, but my favorites for sure are the ones from Tanganyika. The variety of all those little rock dwellers is amazing. So here's one if you like a Sex fasciatus. This is the gold form. These are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches right now, so they've got quite a bit of growing to do, quite a lot more color to come in. But these were aquarium bred and raised by a hobbyist in California. So they didn't go through the stress of import, which is how we prefer to get our fish. I wish enough hobbyists bred enough fish that we never had to import, but you know, every now and then we get lucky and we find a nice batch like this. Okay, here are our Harlequin rasboras. Not a rare fish or, you know, anything you couldn't find locally, but we brought these in because they were bred and raised in Israel, and the folks in Israel are doing some really great work with their breeding programs. So even the common fish they're turning out are just much higher quality, I think, than you find most places. So we ended up bringing them in. I'm glad we did. They're nice and fat and sassy, and they look great. So if you like Harlequin rasboras or pork chop rasboras or whatever you want to call them, we've got them. Here's one you don't see every day. This is Limia vitata. I love the Limia genus. I think they're super underappreciated. The Perugier is gorgeous, the Nigra fasciatus is gorgeous, and so is this one, and a lot of the others as well. Just a neat genus of livebearer you don't see very often, and it's a shame because they're hardy. They're super easy to breed, as you can see by all the little babies swimming around in there, and they're very prolific. So I don't know why they aren't more popular. They just haven't been, basically the industry's kind of ignored them and not bred them in any kind of numbers. But as hobbyists, you can breed them very successfully, and they're rare enough that they command a decent price. So a breeding for profit project with Limias, I think, is definitely a viable option. These were bred and raised by Mountaintop Puffer Keeper from Colorado. All right, check these apistos out. These are Agassizii, but these are the Alencure variety, one of the prettiest of the Agassizii. There's a lot of really pretty Agassizii, but this is like a classic, beautiful Agassizii. These are just gorgeous. Trying to scoot back a bit so I get them in better focus for you. There we go. Are you guys gonna display for us? How accommodating of you. Anyways, we have these in pairs or trios. There's plenty of females in there. So if you're looking for a neat breeding project or just a neat centerpiece cichlid for a nano tank or something, these Apistogramma Agassizii Alencure are definitely something to consider. Okay, here's our current group of electric blue German rams, and they are in here with some Melanotania bosemani from Aves Creek. Just wanted to give you a look-see at the good body condition and the nice color and the good shape of these guys. Really good looking electric blue rams. And the Aves Creek bosemani's are nothing to ignore either. That's a very beautiful fish as it grows. Right now they're like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. So they don't have their color yet, but it's one of the most colorful forms of bosemani in the world, in my opinion. Polar blue parrot cichlids. They took a convict and mixed it in with some parrot and came up with this. I like these because A, their mouths work properly. I don't like parrot cichlids that can't actually use their mouths, so I tend to not bring in that type. But this type can actually use its mouth. It's a fully functional fish. And I think they're beautiful, and I think they're personable. They don't get too big for like a parrot type cichlid. So I think these are great wet pets for all those reasons. Now, and they're not nearly as aggressive as some other cichlids can be. I'm not saying they're peaceful, but we have all these together and they're not beating each other up at all. And we have them with some loaches down here. The ornate sand loach. There's a whole bunch of loaches in this tank, and they aren't bothering them at all. So I think it's a great wet pet. I like this tank a lot. We have some rummy nose tetras on top of some Gymnogeophagus caguensis, which is a beautiful little geophagus. It doesn't get very big at all. Or Gymnogeophagus, I should say, not geophagus, related to geophagus. Really pretty, and the males get a neat little nuchal hump on the head. So if you want a small, peaceful geophagus type, these Gymnogeophagus are great. And they can take a wide variety of temperatures. So if they come from more temperate climates, you can keep them in cooler tanks if you wish. Wow, these are looking fantastic. Fundulopanchax gardneri, an absolutely stunning fish. I won't stay here too long because there's some algae on the front glass, and I wasn't planning on showing them, but man, they just look too good. So just a quick peek at these Fundulopanchax gardneri. Hardy, prolific, and very colorful. A very good killifish to begin with. Just a quick look at some recent arrivals. These will have another week before they're ready to go. But look at these high fin Sankei swordtails. Oh, these are pretty fish. Such a spectacular looking fish. So they've got another week in quarantine. We always do at least 2 weeks quarantine, sometimes more, depending on how long the fish needs to, get recovered and healthy. But I think these are so far fantastic. So I think in another week, barring anything unforeseen, they'll be ready to go. And wow, I just think they're gorgeous. Here's the blue metal dragon guppy. We all know the red dragons. It's a very pretty fish, the red dragon, but for those that like blue, there's another variety out there that you might not have known of. Here they are. Here's our Berlin swordtails, nice big adults, nice calico spotting on them, which is what, you know, pretty much makes them a Berlin. Truly living their best life in this nice, like, planted, well, it's not a pretty planted aquarium, but it's got a lot of plants in it, and the swordtails really appreciate that. And lots of babies as well. Can we see them? See all those babies up in the plants? So, not a surprise with live bears. If you have a lot of plants, you're gonna end up with a lot of babies. Okay, here's a group of platies, but this is a platy you don't ever see. This is a solid yellow hyphen platy. It's very uncommon and bright as the sun. These things are absolutely stunning. Get in there tight. With age, that hyphen develops more and more and more. Ooh, they did not like that camera at all. Sorry guys, didn't mean to freak you out. But with age, that fin just gets taller and taller and taller. One of the most unique fish on the planet, and I don't think that's an exaggeration, is the toothpick fish. These are like a stickleback had a baby with a pipefish. It's kind of what they remind me of. These need live and frozen foods. They'll eat frozen baby brine shrimp, live baby brine shrimp, baby scuds, stuff like that. But they're not going to eat dry prepared foods, at least not in my experience. Oh, look at this one. Right up there, right up front. I mean, nothing else looks like that. That is just truly unique. Okay, I promised you some rare stuff. Here's one of them. This is Corydoras hastatus. You see Corydoras pygmaeus frequently. You see Corydoras habrosus on occasion. Hastatus, for some reason, you don't see. But there's some folks in Germany working with them, and we were able to get them from them. So, neat little pygmy cory. One that a lot of people want, and you can hardly ever find. We've got a nice group of them right now, though. I just love it when they school up like that. That's the joy of pygmy type cories, the dwarf species. Just they create these weather patterns in the water where they all swim up and around together. And you don't need a ton of space either, so you can enjoy that in something as small as like a 20 long. Okay, here's a rare wild type molly. This is a molly, believe it or not. This is Posilia salvatoris, the Liberty molly. Speaking of wild type mollies, here's one I've never seen before. This is the Pacific molly, Posilia butleri. There's a few males in here starting to get some color in. They get spangles and they get this on the caudal fin here. Let's see, can I get you in focus? Here you go, here's one. That yellow orange margin on the caudal fin, spangling on the body. Just a neat wild type molly that I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but I never had. This is our current group of German blue rams. I've always thought Ramirez eye was one of the prettiest little dwarf cichlids ever. Because they are. Here's another wild type live bear. I had never seen this one before. This is Zophophorus variatus, so it's a platy, but it's very different than the domesticated platy. This is from Rio Coahuilo. How do you say that? Coahuilco, I'm gonna say. These are not listed for sale yet because, as you can see, about half of those females are a little bit skinny, and we want our fish to be fat and sassy before we ship them out to our customers. So we want to give these a little more time, but I did want to show them to you just because it's such a unique fish, and it's one I'd never seen before. Look at that male there. That dark kind of stripe pattern. Neat dorsal fin. I think these are going to be spectacular once they fatten up and are ready to go. Here's a fish a lot of you have probably never seen before. I'm specifically talking about the tetra in this tank. This is the African moon tetra. Now they don't look like much in the pictures or in the pet stores. I mean, if you ever see them in a pet store, they're extremely rare fish. But when they color in, they get comfortable, they get that red on the fin and that iridescent white on the back of the anal fin, and they turn into a fish that everyone stops at. When they stop by this tank, everyone stops and looks and is like, what is that? They become a real attention getter. African moon tetra. Very rare, out of West Africa, hard to get, and really pretty once they settle in. Just showing off our current group of platinum rummy nose tetras. This is a species we work really hard on and we generally do very well with. We did have a batch recently that had some trouble, but that's the first time in, I don't know, in a long, long time that they've had trouble. This group here seems to be doing very well. So if you like rummy nose tetras, but have like kind of shied away from them because of their reputation for being delicate and hard to ship and all that, I think this group's going to do well for you. This is a wild type live bear, and I'm willing to bet most of you have never seen this one. This is Xiphophorus maculatus, right? Maculatus is a very common platy, nothing too rare about that, but these are wild type. These are the Bailey's purples. All right, here's an angelfish. This is the red devil out of Europe. These guys have been bred for many generations for a lot of high orange-red color, contrasting with their black and white. Really beautiful, really nice strain. As good as it gets, these European breeders. They do as good a job as anyone. I've never seen better. The price reflects that, unfortunately, but still nice high coverage, beautiful, beautiful angelfish. Opistogramma cockatoides double reds, also out of Europe. Not the rarest fish in the world, but the Europeans do a great job, so I pay the price to bring them in because I always figure there's people out there that will, you know, want to pay for the quality. Especially if you're starting in a breeding group or something, you want to start with the best fish possible. Whew, look at those double reds. Okay, this is a new angelfish that I had never seen before. This is the Bulgarian lilac. So I imagine that's going to be kind of a seal point looking fish with some lilac coloration. And I can already see the lilac coloration a little bit on the fins and on the body. We have more super red bushy nose, and we also have these. These are a rice fish. These are what is usually sold as a black rice fish. The problem is most of the rice fish that are sold as black rice fish, although they come from black lines, look like this. This is more of a gray rice fish than a black rice fish. But we bought these from a breeder here in the United States who's working on his black line, and let me show you what his blacks look like. Here are his black rice fish. There's a few grayish ones in there, but look at the difference. See how dark those are? Much darker than most of the black rice fish sold on the market these days. So if you want some black rice fish, this is as good as it gets right here. Okay, these are not ready. These just arrived a few days ago. But I wanted to show them anyway because I think they're spectacular. This is a new variety of paradise fish, and I think it's stunning. They're calling it the redback paradise fish. It's basically a red fish with blue fins and a black margin across the anal fin. My first time seeing this. And I'm loving all these varieties of paradise fish. The problem is we can almost never get them. Like there's some beautiful stuff out in Asia. There's all kinds of domestic breeds being developed, and there's also all kinds of wild species of paradise fish that we just never get to see. So anytime I get a chance to bring in some of those kind of fancier paradise fish, I do, and I'm always glad I did. Oh, look at this guy displaying right here. Oh, that didn't last long. As soon as I got the camera on him, yeah, there he goes. That's right, strut your stuff, buddy. So it's going to be a couple weeks before they're ready, but they're looking good. You all know the neon tetra, but you might not have seen the long-finned neon tetra. Took a neon tetra and put it in a wedding dress, basically. Dressed it in lace. These guys want food so bad. All right, we'll get you some food. Don't you fret. So this is another fish we do a very good job with. This is the albino threadfin acara. And we have figured out over the last few years, with the help of a veterinarian and a lot of trial and error, how to get these healthy. So we have a good source for them. We know which medications to use to rid them of the parasites they always come in with. And the ones you get will be dewormed and in great shape. These are still fairly young. They're starting to get the oranges. Right now they mostly look kind of like a white fish, but I'm telling you, when these get bigger and mature, they're an absolutely stunning fish. One of those that will draw you from across the room. They're so pretty. Albino threadfin acara. One of my favorite fish of all time is Lamprichthys tanganyicanus, the Tanganyican lampi. They get robin's egg blue spots on them, yellow fins, and they grow to 4 to 5 inches. Nice, big, beautiful fish. They need room to roam. These are rapid swimmers. I would treat them kind of like a rainbow fish with tank size. Something you don't see every day, and just absolutely beautiful as they get bigger. Okay, here's our current group of albino platinum lyre-tail mollies. I'm gonna let the fish do the talking. I think that this breeder does a very good job. Almost always. I mean, in this whole group, I think there's one problem fish, and it's this one. Is the mouth isn't quite right. But besides that, I think the other ones in here look very, very good. Very nice fish. Okay, Epiplates degei. Look at these guys back there. This is the firemouth killifish, or the red-chinned panchax. It's an Epiplates species. They get this bright red chin on the males. They're very hardy fish, very beautiful, prolific, simple to breed. This is a great beginner killifish for sure. I've kept and bred these lots of times. These are the ones from Monrovia. That's the collection location. Just a stunning and neat killifish, totally different genus, the Epiplates, one you don't see very often. You often see Nothlobronchius and some Aphyosemians and maybe some Fundulopanchax, but you don't often see Epiplates. Here are some albino yellow cobra guppies. Yellow cobra guppies are very pretty, but add the albino, you get an extra splash of brightness. And I just think they're stunning. Look at this guy. Look at the dorsal fin on him. That is impressive, if I do say so myself. Okay, here's a molly that's new to me. This is a domestic strain of molly. These are the copper molly, and they have an iridescence and a color scheme that I have never seen before. These are not cheap because they're kind of brand spanking new. My first time seeing anything like this. The iridescence on them is special. Just, if you know mollies and you look at these, you'll be like, ooh, what's that? That's new. Here's our current group of strawberry rasboras. This is a Borara species. I'm forgetting how to say this species name, but I think it's Nevius or Nievas or something like that. Okay, here's the watermelon tetras. At the moment, they're not colored up. I wish that they were so I could show them to you when they are colored up, because then I'm sure I'd sell them all instantly. They really are stunning fish. Right now, though, they're still settling in, but I guess what I'll say is they're healthy, they're hardy, and when they color up, they're absolutely stunning. All right, we don't just have fancy new mollies, we also have good quality standard mollies. These are the sailfin silver mollies, or silver sailfin mollies, I suppose I should say. A beautiful molly, not super rare or anything, but I just want you to look at the quality and health of these. No one's shimmying up in the corner. Everyone's eating well, everyone's fat and sassy and displaying. And that's why ours cost so much more than the average molly. I know mollies are generally not an expensive fish, but when you get them from suppliers that do a good job and ship them humanely, and then you have to medicate them and get them to this stage, it takes quite a bit to do that. So I know they're pricey, but I just want to show you why. This is why. Here's another very rare wild type live bear. This is similar to Pygmaeus, but this is multilineatus. This is Ephophorus multilineatus from Rio Tampico. How do you say that? from Rio Tambaqui, I'm gonna say. These guys are doing fantastic, and they're breeding. Here's one baby, and there's several other babies up in the plants here. There's one. So we got a colony kind of starting of Xiphophorus multilineatus from Rio Tambaqui. I know I've shown these before, but I think that Limia perugiae is stunning, and I think Scotty, the breeder of this particular group, did an amazing job. Look at the black and blue spangles, the black on the fins and the blue spangles on the males, and these are small still. They're going to get even better as they grow up. So Limia perugiae, hardy, prolific, easy to breed, and very beautiful. Just a very underappreciated wild type live bearer. This is a beautiful little goby. This is Rhinogobia jouy. I hadn't planned on showing these to you guys, so I didn't scrub the algae off the tank, but this guy came right up front and was kind of showing off. So I figured I'd show you one of the prettiest little Rhinogobius species ever. Rhinogobia jouy, the scarlet goby, or scarlet Rhinogobius. I just don't think it gets much better than these guys. Beautiful little fish. Here's another of those new domesticated strains of mollies. This is the yellow calico molly. There's just something about the iridescence and the color pattern and the contrast which make these very special. I love it when they do that. They just become one with the food. A very nice group of calico swordtails with some Chilotherina alleni wapoga. This is the red form of wapoga. See the red up on the back of this male here? That's what makes them the red form. Johannes Graf has been developing these, line breeding these for quite a while to get that red into the back. And he's doing that because he noticed when he collected them in the wild that a small percentage of the wild fish had that red on the back. And so he separated those out and started, a line of these reds. And they're just as pretty as your normal alleni wapoga, but with just that little extra, that red up on the back. All right, for those of you that know me, you know this fish is very special to me. This is Aphyosemion, or chrome Aphyosemion if you want, from Bivitatum from Funge. This is actually the fish that became our logo. So if you look at the Dan's Fish logo, you'll see a resemblance to these guys. They're absolutely stunning. They're hardy. They're easy to breed. They're prolific. And they develop even better finnage than this. Just give them a little time. In 4 months, these fins are going to be mind-blowing as they develop the big, long extensions in their full color. Probably my favorite fish ever, Aphyosemion bivitatum from Funge. Okay, here is our current group of bluegrass guppies. And there's certain fish that you don't have to talk about. You just show them and let them do their thing, and they'll describe themselves. I think this is one of those, just because look at how stunning they are. Very nice bluegrass guppies. Another killifish that I just love, this is Fundulopanchax emiadi. These guys get decent size, 2.5 inches, maybe 3 inches. I mean, they grow to be a pretty impressive fish. I've never met a killifish I didn't like. This is our current group of yellow tiger king cobra guppies. I just think they're so unique. That black mottled pattern on the body, it's kind of bumblebee-ish almost, with the beautiful finnage and nice extended dorsal fins. I just don't think it gets much nicer than that. And I say that about a lot of fish, but it's true. In their own way, they're all just so cool. But there's some that are just unique and kind of really grab you. For me, this is one of those. Here's another of those kind of new to the market types of mollies with the kind of neat iridescence that's unique and fairly new. This is the golden molly. Usually when you hear of golden molly, you don't picture something like this. You picture something more common. like a gold sailfin or a gold sphenops or something like that. But this is the newest kind of form of molly to hit the market. So they're pricey because they're new, but they are pretty cool. Another awesome killifish. These are the gold australes or orange australes, Aphyosemion australe. A great beginner fish. This is one that gets a lot of people in the killifish hobby because it's hardy, it's so beautiful, and it's easy to keep and easy to breed. It's bright, beautiful fish. Look at these guys. I have been trying forever to bring in Corydoras adolphi. Every time I do, they turn out to be Corydoras duplicarius. At least that's what it seems like. So I brought these in from Germany. I paid the price. They were very expensive in the hopes that they would actually be identified correctly and be the right fish. We have some images sent over to a Corydoras expert, close-ups of their pectoral fins, so they can look at them and tell us if this is duplicarius or adolphi. Fingers crossed, don't know yet, so they won't be listed until we do know which one they are. But they're doing great. Here is another of those new pencilfish species. These are the ones from Rio Amaya. And look at the deep red on these guys. Another absolutely stunning new variety of pencilfish. Very pricey, I know, but beautiful and hardy. They're doing great for us. They're eating everything. They've proven very easy to care for. So I think they'll thrive for you, which is good because the price is very high. Speaking of stunning fish, here's the other of the new kind of super beautiful pencilfish. These are the Cenepa red or Cenepa red. Cenepa red? Canepa red? I think it's Cenepa. These are the Cenepa red. That's what I'm going with. As Johnny says, they look like salmon in spawning condition. Now these are pricey, I know that, but they colored up after a couple weeks with us and they haven't colored down since. So if you can pay the price, this will be the reward. A fish that is always like this. Once they've settled in and colored up, just stunning like this. This is our breeding colony of Vienna blonde swordtail guppies. Look at those nice swords on the males on the bottom of the tail fin, and contrast that with that nice dorsal fin on those big mature swords. Big mature guppies. So you basically have a sword on the bottom on the tail fin, and then kind of another sword on top once that dorsal fin flares out. And these are being bred and raised right here at Dan's Fish. All right, these are some Congo spotted puffers. These have not eaten in over 24 hours. I'll feed them again soon here. It's been about 30 hours, I think. And look at the body weight. So when I show puffers, I try to show puffers after they've not eaten for a while, because then you get the actual body condition, as opposed to seeing them when they're kind of artificially fattened up with full bellies of food. So if you want a wet pet, and you like puffers, these are one to consider. They don't get too big. You can keep them together in a community, which is rare for a puffer. And these don't get the overgrown teeth nearly as quickly as Amazon puffers. All right, that's the tour for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to learn more about aquarium fish, we do a live stream every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk about fish, fish care, breeding fish, setting up aquariums, all that stuff. So if you want to know more, join us there. And I wouldn't feel right signing off without thanking all of our customers. Thanks for your support. And all the members of the channel, thanks for supporting us. We appreciate you. Until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.